It's time for a new Gina K Designs release, which always means there are gorgeous new stamps and dies available. Hi everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel, and in today's video I'll be sharing the new Gina K Designs Smile Today stamp set. This is a great layering stamp set with a beautiful daffodil, a gorgeous sentiment, and a stunning background. I want to make sure that I get this video up in time for the release, so I'm just going to do one card, but I'm going to show you everything about this stamp set so that you can see if you want to add it to your stash. So let's take a look at the stamp set Smile Today. This is the Smile Today stamp set. It's a 6x8 stamp set. There's a beautiful sentiment that says, "I hope this makes you smile today." There's the outline of the daffodils. You could color those in on your own, or you could use the layers to stamp color on top of the outline. There's also a really pretty background stamp. It's a small piece of a background, but you could double it up or just use one like I'll do in my cards. Now I'm going to stamp everything out and create a card. Okay, I lied a little bit. I actually have two cards for you today. This first one, I'm going to do what looks like a no-line coloring stamp. So I'm using Gina K Amalgam ink in Whisper to stamp out the outline of the daffodil on an A2 piece of white cardstock. Now I will place the layers on top of the outline. I know it's tough for you to see the outline in camera, but in person I can see the light gray. It will just be enough for me to line up those stamps. I have a couple of Gina K Designs cube inks in a couple of different yellows, so I'm using those today for my daffodil. I placed the outline stamp in the center of the A2 cardstock, so I'm able to put down all three of the layering stamps at the same time and stamp them all at the same time. And aren't they gorgeous? On another piece of A2 cardstock, I'm using Gina K Sea Glass, this is my favorite color, for that background. I love this design. The diamonds are so pretty and it looks gorgeous in this color. I absolutely adore it. Now, the one thing that you would need to color in on your own, even if you use the layering stamps, are the leaves and stems. Leaves and stems are super easy even for me, so don't worry about it if you're not really feeling comfortable with coloring. These are very simple to do. Any markers or watercolors or anything you have to color these in will look great, because the stamp design makes it very simple to follow along the lines and just add a little bit of blending and shading to make those leaves look a little bit more realistic, because the flowers themselves, the lines of the flowers, are so realistic and gorgeous. So you definitely want to do a little bit of that on your leaves and stems. Now, there are dies available. I will link to them down below. I didn't have them in time to die cut this image, so I fussy cut it out, but don't worry, you can get the dies if you want. I stamped the sentiment on top of that background on that A2 piece of cardstock, and then I'll take my fussy cut daffodils and pop them up for a simple but colorful and happy card. This time I'm stamping with Gina K's Amalgam Obsidian ink, and I'm stamping it off the left-hand side of an A2 piece of white cardstock. This time I need to just do two at a time. In my mini Misti with the cardstock pushed all the way to the left-hand side, I wouldn't be able to stamp out that third flower. So right now I'm just focusing on the other two, and I'm using the lighter yellow that I had, I believe it's called Corn, to do the whole flower, and then just adding a little bit of that darker yellow on the outside and ends of the flowers, just to add a little bit of a difference. So then I moved my cardstock over and I was able to stamp that last layered flower. Again, just some very simple coloring for those leaves and stems. I'm using Ohuhu markers. Those are my favorite alcohol markers because I find them really easy to blend. Anything that is super thin, like those thin stems, you can use the bullet tip of the marker. And for the bigger leaves, you can use the brush tip to get some blending and shading. This time I'm placing the background stamp off the right hand side, and I'm using some mint ink on that. And then last but not least, I'll put the little sentiment on there and then cut this panel down to 4 by 5 1/4 so I can mat it on some sea glass cardstock from Gina K. So these two cards came together very quickly, and that's why I was able to do two for you today. But I love this stamp set, and I think it would be a great addition for your spring cards. I hope you can see that this gorgeous Smile Today stamp set has everything you need in it to create a beautiful spring card. In my last Gina K video, I featured a sympathy stamp set that sold out super fast, but I'm gonna link to that video here because the stamp set is now available. So if you're looking for a gorgeous sympathy stamp set, please check out this video. As always, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon.